Hey everyone, welcome back to the Flexcard series. Today, we are taking things one step further. We're going to fetch real-time data from Salesforce into a Flexcard using a data mapper. We'll also build our first data mapper extract and see how it works. We will use a data table to display all of this incoming data from the data mapper. So let's dive right in. As you can see, I have a Flexcard here that displays a data table of contacts. All of these multiple contacts have been fetched from a data raptor. So to build this, we'll go to our current Flexcard that we had made in the last video. As we can see here, the data source of this Flexcard was custom. And if you remember, we were passing a JSON data which was static to the Flexcard and it was displaying the fields. To not disturb this Flexcard, as you can see, it is in active state, right? So to not disturb your production website, we would always create a newer version for this Flexcard and make any enhancements or any edits over there. As you can see, we are on version number 2 and the status is inactive here. So we can start editing this Flexcard. Alright, so let's go to the setup tab and scroll to the bottom to the data source. To switch this to a data mapper, first we will actually have to build a data mapper. So if you navigate to your OmniStudio data mappers, you will find a new button here and you can just start making a data raptor. For example, we'll call it fetch contacts. We'll keep the interface as extract and those are a topic for another video. We'll keep the input type and output type as JSON. Oftentimes you will see me calling data mapper data raptors because it was called data raptors in the previous version on OmniScript and now it's data mappers. So depending on whichever version, you will see a data raptor or a data mapper on your side. So let's just save it. And as you can see, we have a OmniStudio data mapper here. We can add an extract step. Okay, so let me explain what this does basically. First, we will select an option from where to fetch the data. In our case, we are fetching the data from the contacts. So there will be a contact over here. You can just select that. Now, all of the data that will come has to be put into a JSON format. And here we have to define what the object in the JSON format would be called. We'll just say contacts again. As you can see on the right side, there's an object being created with a contacts array. In the second step, we see filter. How do we want to filter our data that will be coming in the data raptor? For now, let's just keep it simple and give the first name of the contact. We make it equals to, and let's just call it Josh or something. Next step, we go to the output section. This was the input for the data mapper. Data mapper will take these properties and search for a contact. Next step is to get the output from the data mapper. So you come to the output tab, you click the plus button over here, and we give a JSON path that will be filled from the data mapper. The first thing that we want from the contact would obviously be the first name. So let's just search for first name and it will give you contact's first name. That's what we want. And the output path would be first name. As you can see, the output is coming as first name and whatever the value will be replaced by here, the text message over here. Not only want the first name, but let's also bring in the last name of the contact. Label is as last name again. Let's also bring in the email. Label it as email. Bring in the phone number as well. Why not? Alright, so now we are extracting this data, the 4 fields from our contact. So to preview that, you can just select the preview tab over here and click the execute button and you will see if there is a first name Josh, all of these details will be fetched. So as you can see, this is dynamic. This is coming from the Salesforce contact section. If you have a contact named Josh over there, this will fetch that data. So let's get back to our Flexcard now. Now what you can do is you can select the data source type, find the data mapper, add an interface name, the name that we gave to our data mapper. As you can see on the top over here, it's called fetch contacts. So it should come over here. If it doesn't, we might have to refresh it. Let's just refresh our page first. Go back to setup, go to data mapper, say fetch. As you can see, we find it over there now. So data source type, data mapper, interface name, fetch contacts. Let's just try if the data is coming over here. As you can see, the JSON is populated with Josh's details because in the data raptor, we statically gave it to find the name Josh, and it will also be populated over here. Now this is not looking appealing, so let's add a text field here and say contact card. Might as well just center it, and we'll also bold it. So if you preview this, it should be something like this. So this was simple, right? One data coming from a data mapper and being populated in a Flexcard. Now let's see what happens if we have multiple contacts. So let's go back to our data raptor, and we had statically given it Josh. So I know that in my contacts, I have two contacts whose first name is starting with Carol. So let's just type Carol here and quickly go on the preview to see if two contacts are coming. Yes, you can see there's the first contact of Carol White and there's another contact of Carol Green. So we can just go back to our Flexcard and preview it once more, and you can see Carol White and Carol Green. Both fields are being populated over here. We now see contact cards, but what if you want to make this cleaner and you want to be a list instead of cards? We could also do that. Let's keep this as it is and let's make a newer version of this Flexcard again. Let's change it from a card to a list, and we'll just remove these fields for now, and we'll bring in a data table. What a data table will do, it will take in all the inputs that are coming from the JSON data. As we had seen here, the inputs that are coming is last name, phone, first name, and email. In the previous version of the card, we weren't even taking in the phone number because we had it started, right? The data table already makes 4 columns and populates all the fields. If you preview this, okay. It's a good thing that we see this one here, a bad message 431, because what happens every time in Flexcards is the cache gets full of your browser. So basically, to solve this issue, you just go into your browser and you delete the browsing data. You just go in and you have to clear the cookies. Then you come back over here. If you refresh, it will be just fine. So as you can see here, we have a contact list and a data table that is being filled by a data raptor. Okay, also let's see what happens if you just put in C as an input, because let's just say that you want all the contacts whose first name has the letter C in it. So for that, you have to change the operator here. Earlier, you were using equal to, so it will check equal to. But if you say equal to C, there won't be anything equal to C, but there will be many contacts that would be like C, because now it will check in the first name. If there is a letter C, it will fetch the contacts. So let's just check in the preview first. And as you can see, there are many contacts that have been fetched. You can also see that in some contacts, there is only last name, first name. There is no phone or email. That's because there is actually no phone or email present in the data for Salesforce, and some contacts do have it. In such a case, to keep your Flexcard clean, what you could do is you could just go in the output section, and in each and every node that you're calling, you could just edit and put a default value as, for example, what is this? This is email, right? So we could just say no email provided. I guess first and last name would be there for every contact. So for phone number also, we'll just say no phone number provided. So now when you preview, it will actually give you all 4 sections, all 4 nodes. If the contact doesn't have a phone number, it will say no phone provided. If the contact has a phone number, it will give you the phone number. Similarly for email. So now we've made changes on the data mapper, and we can go back to the Flexcard to see how they have been reflected. You preview this and you can see multiple tables. Why this is happening is because of a setting in the Flexcard. This is a really useful setting if you are using contact cards. So if we go back to our previous card and if you preview here, this will also have multiple contact cards now. There are multiple contact cards for each and every contact. This is useful if you're using cards, but when you are using a data table, you don't want multiple data tables, right? You just want one table. For this, you could go into the setup of, let's just go back to design first, and you could go into the setup section, scroll down a bit and find repeat option. and you uncheck this. Once you uncheck that, then you preview, you will see only one data table containing all the contacts. So to quickly summarize everything, we'll see we connected a Flexcard to a real-time Salesforce data mapper. We saw how a data mapper extract works. We used repeatable cards to handle multiple records automatically. We switched to a data table and handled larger amount of data more cleanly than contact cards. We also learned how to fix the issues by the repeatable settings. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Salesforce OmniStudio tips. See you in the next one.